It is Monday, the 8th of July, 2024. My name is Pigeon Rose, and this is my song of the day. This is an artist who I have been aware of for a long time, but I only got into properly relatively recently. I mean, I listened to a few of her songs maybe 10 years ago and got really into those, but I fully started properly listening to her, by which I mean I listened to her entire discography in order a few years ago. And that artist is Björk, as she is known, or as she is actually called, Björk, I believe is the close. Well, I'm not going to get it exactly right because I am not Icelandic, but it is closer to Björk rather than Björk, but Björk is how English speakers tend to pronounce it, and it tends to be what I go for just because it's quicker to say. She is a very famous Icelandic singer, and you've probably heard of her. And you may have heard one or two of her songs without knowing it was her, even if you're not a fan. Particularly her cover of It's Oh So Quiet is quite popular. It's on my Christmas playlist for some reason. It just has kind of a Christmassy feel to it to me for some reason. It's a great cover. You know, she's known for her electronic production and her unconventional voice. She's known for having kind of a weird personality, which is probably partially autism, let's be honest, and I'm all for it. I remember ages ago, I mean, I knew It's Oh So Quiet, and I would have seen I Miss You and things like that, and Violently Happy on music video stations. But I remember ages ago, my then partner showed me Hyper Ballad. That was what got me properly listening to Björk. The song we're talking about today is a song called Undo from her album Vespertine, which wouldn't necessarily be her best known song in the world. But there's a specific reason I want to talk about this, because this song is referenced by another song by a different artist, and I heard that first, and then I went back and listened to this, and I'm like, oh shit, this is a really good song. Just let it wash over you. It's that kind of song. So we're going to listen to it now, and then we're going to come back in a few minutes and talk about it. Truly a transcendental experience. Listening to Björk is just such an interesting thing, because some of the songs are really bouncy and dancey, like Violently Happy. Then you have songs like this and Hyper Ballad that just kind of wash over you and fill you with emotion, even if you don't necessarily understand what's going on or what she's singing. It's just this very specific vibe to the way the electronics combine with the strings and stuff, and her voice, of course. Really effective. I really like this song. The song itself seems to be about getting through struggles. It's about how in your life there are a lot of things that go bad, and no matter what you do, bad things will always happen. But it's about getting through those and choosing to do things that will help, and that will help you get through this, and that will divert you from the worst times, What I find is weird is that I think that message is pretty fucking obvious. But every interpretation and comment on Genius, not every, but most, is about how the song is actually about sex, and I don't understand aloes. There's a lot of songs that you read, you don't realize it's about sex, and you read the lyrics and you're like, oh god, that song's about sex. This song is not about sex. If you think it's about sex, it says more about you, considering the lyrics about you're trying too hard, surrender, give yourself in. If you think that's about sex, go to therapy. Jesus. But anyway, let's read the lyrics. It's not meant to be a strife. It's not meant to be a struggle uphill. It's not meant to be a strife. It's not meant to be a struggle uphill. You're trying too hard. Surrender. Give yourself in. You're trying too hard. You're trying too hard. Like I said, very obvious what it's about, just about accepting these bad things that can happen and trying to move on from them and live better, It's not meant to be a strife. It's not meant to be a struggle uphill. You're not supposed to be struggling with your life. You're not supposed to be suffering. You're supposed to be getting through it, It's warmer now. Lean into it. Unfold in a generous way. Then you get the chorus again, but in certain parts you hear her say undo. And then you get, I'm praying to be in a generous mode. The kindness kind to share me, to share me, to share me. And you get the chorus again. Just this whole thing of, it's warmer now, lean into me, kind of holding someone close, and then unfold in a generous way, which makes you think of a flower blooming. And it really feels like this idea of taking time out to kind of center yourself again and accept the suffering and start to move on from it and blossom into a different, better person, And then I'm praying to be in a generous mode, the kindness kind to share me, trying to improve on yourself, do better than before, and also you to let other people in, to share me, right? To let other people see who you are, be vulnerable with people, be generous with people, be open with people, right? And then we have the outro, which is undo, undo, and if you're bleeding, undo, and if you're sweating, undo, if you're crying, darling, undo, undo, oh, I unravel. So this idea of undoing, she's not saying take back what's happened, like not in a time travel erasure way or anything, but that thing of like, you are the one who can stop yourself from hurting. So if you're bleeding, undo, mend that wound. If you're sweating, undo, relax, calm down. If you're crying, darling, undo, get some tissues. Like this idea of knowing how to pull yourself back from the brink and help yourself and be better. You recognize how you're suffering and you recognize how to deal with that. And then the last line being unravel. Again, makes me think of the sharing and the unfolding, right? This idea of unraveling. And some people will use unraveling referring to a mental state, like someone's going crazy, they're unraveling, they're unhinged. But I like it here as this unraveling, like you're too tightly wound, you need to unravel and unspool and become something else, something better, I really like that. It's more transformational, like the metamorphosis of a caterpillar into a butterfly, Gregor Samsa into a bug. And the way the music all fits into this is so interesting as well. Like I said, it's got these like electric bits, like electric keyboard, and the drums are very clearly programmed. But then you've got these sweeping strings and the choral vocals that really just bring it all together. It's so great, especially at the end when she's saying undo and everything's kind of layering on top of itself. It really heightens it and makes it incredible. And I really love how it all comes together in this song. And then at the end, the music starts to get more bit crushed as it goes. There's definitely another song I know that does something similar, and I can't remember what it is. I feel like maybe Touch Me I'm Gonna Scream Part 2 does that. I might be misremembering. There's some song in my head that gets more bit crushed as it goes, but Undo is still playing in my head, so I can't actually focus on it because my mind just keeps giving me the Björk song instead. But yeah, it's an effect I really like. I really like the ending of it here. What's interesting to me is I did listen to Vespertine. I can't remember all the songs on it, but it's interesting to me that the song is fourth, because this feels like an ending song to me, or an opening song, and to have it fourth is a really interesting place to put it. But it goes directly into Pagan Poetry, which is another one of her well-known songs. Absolutely adore this song. Really love the lyrics, as simple as they are, but they get the point across, and the vocals and the music, just incredible. And I hope you enjoyed too. That's going to be pretty much it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. Please give me a like, hit subscribe, leave me a comment, tell anyone you want to about this song and this episode and me in general, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
Break it down.
By which I mean listen to her entire discography.